Welcome to When Will It End? It's a movie podcast. You're joining us for movie 2 of the Harold and Kumar series, Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay. I'm Josh Landis, joined as ever my companion, my compatriot, Charles Harvey.
I thought I was more for you.
Friend.
Compartment?
Companion.
Jesus.
Companion.
Now just a compartment. What
for,
kind of
for
compartment?
my emotions. I put my emotions in it.
Yeah, compartmentalized. What was it? Was that in a movie we watched recently? We watched so many.
Yeah, compartmentalized. The movie.
It was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I believe, and she's like, somebody says something, and he's like, no, it's not that. It's compartmentalized Yeah, when when Raph accuses Leo of being a traitor, and you're like, you hid information from me, and then Leo says, didn't. That was just compartmentalized something.
Maybe we misjudged that whole series. Fuck. Maybe we should revisit it.
Especially now that I'm a compartment.
Now that you're a compartment to me, we should sit down and really, I think, dig into which turtles really was we. Did we talk about that at all?
How much? Yeah, which one's which?
Well, which one's which, yeah. Okay, so as I remember, you taught me a trick from this. The L's.
I'm so glad you remember.
Leo, Bleeder, Bloomin'.
Yes, he's in the Blue Man group.
Okay, no, I got this. Okay, Leo's Gryffindor, and he blue, and he got swords.
Yeah.
Okay, he's the leader of the group.
Yeah.
Okay, then we got Raph. Okay,
yeah.
Raph are red. Red headband, him. Size.
Yeah.
He is very emotional and sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
He is a Slytherin because let's be honest, he's a Gemini.
Sure. Oh,
I'm a Gemini. He's a Gemini. We know what the fucking score
Amy's
is.
a Gemini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your wonderful girlfriend.
Yeah, my wonderful girlfriend, Amy.
Right. Then we got, there's the pizza lover.
Yeah.
He orange.
Yep.
Nunchucks.
Yep.
He's horny.
Yep.
Is he as horny as Kumar?
His fucking name.
Is Mikey as horny as Kumar?
I think so.
They're both pretty. Imagine if those guys fucking partied.
Well, I think because, I'm so glad we're going through the turtles on our episode about Harold and Kumar.
And then Dontel's purple. He's Ravenclaw. He's like you. He's a dork. He's got glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had glasses.
You have glasses on right now?
No, but I, for years, wore taped glasses.
Really?
Yeah.
To make like a point?
No, because I was poor.
That's honestly disgusting.
And broke my glasses.
Yikes.
And had to tape them.
Did a much wealthier, maybe portly child throw you into the dirt and say, you dropped your glasses, hobby?
Yeah, he called me hobby.
Did he say, I shan't be eating more of your French fries, not since your people failed to support the glorious war in Iraq?
No, we did not.
It wasn't about the war in Iraq?
No, I think I just fell over.
Because France did not join the coalition.
Oh, God, no. Good job, France. One of the few things France has done, freedom fries.
They killed all those Yemeni people.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said one of the few.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad we went through those turtles because it's about Harold and Kumar. We watched 1. Now we're on to 2.
We sure are.
As we do. And what'd you ask me? You asked me a question.
I touched my phone and it made noise. I'm sorry. Okay.
What is that?
It's an album. I don't know why it autoplayed.
It's that fucking Grateful Dead?
It sounds like Grateful Dead,
God
but it's
damn
not.
it, you're
I'm
such
sorry.
a fucking addict.
It's James Matthew the 7th.
Oh, wait, what's that mean?
James Matthew the 7th.
I've told you so many times to not use your phone on the podcast, and finally you've been come up since.
I mean, I don't know. Look.
That was pretty fun.
It was pretty fun that I touched my phone and made noise.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
I touched my phone. Look, I got to talk about this. I was on my dang device.
You were.
I know. And we talked about so much how good it was in the last movie, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. There's only one real device. In this movie, too, interestingly enough, 4 years later,
yeah, 2008.
There's basically only one device, and entertainingly, it's a tablet with a stylus.
Yes, with a very bad OS. But I mean, how old? When did you get your first cell phone?
Actually, 2008.
Yeah,
I was a senior in high school.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad and my brother actually burst into the class I was in, and they were like, we all got cell phones.
Wait, what?
It was a thing where
they burst into. I
was in theater class in high school,
okay.
And they were like, it was like a family plan thing, which at the time was this very novel idea, where it's like we're all going to get cell phones.
Yeah.
So I remember they were like, we got cell phones, and I was given my first cell phone.
But it was a flip phone.
I mean, absolutely, it's a flip phone.
Yeah. So when did you get your first smartphone?
First smartphone? That's a great question.
I don't think it is, but let's just answer it. It's fine.
I had a fake BlackBerry for a minute. Just one of those, like it had a big keypad and a big screen, but it was
those
not.
are dumb phones. I mean, BlackBerries are dumb phones.
I don't think they're that bad. Woo! Put that one on the books. Didn't even peak. Look at that.
You're such a
I'm a mic master,
so
baby. I know. I'm a Rob Corddry of podcasting, which is to say intense but likable.
My first smartphone was an iPhone 5.
Okay. You're more of the tech whiz here. I barely remember the name of any of the phones.
So here's my take.
On phones?
When I was a kid, I really hated being embarrassed.
That's everyone.
Okay. I really hated
Remember
being
in Harold
embarrassed.
Kumar Escape at Guantanamo Bay when Kumar's ex-girlfriend turned lover again? She doesn't want to be embarrassed. He embarrasses himself with a nerdy poem.
Yeah.
Like in the movie.
Yeah, and like cell phones were, I thought, even from high school, like they were really awful. And maybe it's just because I didn't want to wait for my parents to talk to me any more than they already did.
It's kind of like how in Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, there's a lot of stuff about George W. Bush and his father. And through Kumar's experience with his father, it helps W communicate with his father, George Bush Sr., who groped people while in a wheelchair.
Yeah. And so I didn't want a cell phone. And then when I moved to Boston, I finally got a cell phone because, you're not getting a landline in Boston.
No, it's true. Famously, the ground in Boston, impermeable.
Yeah.
You yell into that earth, you get nothing back.
Can't get anything.
No, you wanted a cell phone like how in Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, they call their Jewish friends, and that leads the Homeland Security to track them because they called their Jewish friends, who then are pulled into question by Rob Corddry, and he dumps a lot of pennies on a table in front of them. It's honestly an amazing joke.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, Jews love money.
Yeah.
It made me anxious watching that. I wanted to clean up the money.
You wanted to dive through the screen and grab. I think they were quarters. I think you're right.
I think they were quarters. We had a disagreement with my beautiful girlfriend Allison, who said they were pennies. I think there was some pennies in there, but like, look, I pick up change right and left. This is one Jewish stereotype that I actually am fine with. If I see a quarter, I will pick it up.
Of course.
If I see a dime, I'll pick it up.
I'll do that.
Nickel, I don't know. Depends on the day. Penny, pass.
You want to know my theory?
What's that?
It all counts.
Well,
If it wasn't mine before and it can be mine now, I'll take it.
yeah.
That's just not for coins.
Right. Hey, a win is a win is a win.
Anything.
Location, location, location.
Yeah, so I got my first cell phone when I moved to Boston in 2005. I was a Motorola flip phone.
Uh-huh.
And then I went through a series of Sony Ericsson slider phones. I was big into the slider phone.
Well, I can see you being the kind of Matrix nerd who wanted a Matrixy phone. Because those phones slide.
Yeah, but my dad wouldn't let me see the Matrix because it had, probably drugs and black people and...
Well, I mean, Keanu Reeves is a mixed heritage. I know that,
yeah.
the miscegenation is a big issue in your family.
Yeah, and all the heroes in that movie are people of color.
It's true. Tank.
Yeah, and all the bad guys are white. So
Cypher.
Dad didn't really like it.
I like steak. I don't care if it's real.
Yeah.
I want to eat steak.
Yeah, so I wasn't... But later, after having seen The Matrix and maybe I did see that in high school. It was one of the first DVDs I ever bought.
It's a DVD ripper. Is this story you just recounting phones you've had? You're a fucking awful person.
No, this is good shit.
This is really bad.
So anyway,
holy shit, there's more.
So I had a girlfriend back in 2008. So this is when the movie came out. This is why I'm telling you this story.
Minute 9. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
She really wanted an iPhone 3. I was like, what the fuck you want an iPhone for? It's so expensive, and what are you going to do with that? And she just really wanted an iPhone. She actually ended up working for Apple later. That's a different story. So I was like, fuck that. I want an iPhone. That's dumb. You're wasting your money. And it really took me, I just kept getting lost. And I was using paper maps while driving. I was like,
wait, can I set the scene? It's 2000, what year is it? 3, 4?
Well, which one?
Wherever you are right now.
Well, I'm glad you've been keeping up. I'm now in 2008, 2009.
And you're like, you ever heard this Steve Jobs guy? She's like, yeah, he's pretty good at making phones. You're like, Steve Jobs, phones. Huh.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Okay, cool, great. Just wanted to set the scene for listeners.
Remember in Turtles when the scientist was like, Albert Einstein, Thomas Edison, Steve Jobs,
the greatest scientist the world has ever known. Hey, what if the computers, you couldn't open them? Can't open them. They're smooth. I'm Steve Jobs.
So anyway, I finally got one because I didn't want to get lost anymore. That was like 2010. My point of the story is that like I feel like most.
But aren't you even more lost in cyberspace? Because you're on your damn device. Social media, I call it. Shut up, anti-social media.
Yes.
Because it's supposed to bring us together. Guess what? Collusion with the Russians.
Exactly. How am I
separate us? Putin kissed Trump.
How am I supposed to tell the difference between my uncle and a Russian bot?
It's honestly, I've met your uncle. I really could have been a Russian bot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I meant that in real life.
Could have been. IRL?
Hello. My name is Ross. I am from Georgia. No,
Charles,
not that Georgia.
I'm busy in a meeting and I can't call. What's your PIN number?
Yeah. Well, I'd be like, I know my real uncle would never say PIN number because the N is already the number.
Exactly.
You're a Russian bot.
His respect for acronyms.
Yeah.
Transcends any loyalty to any country. Yeah. But yes, Steve Jobs.
My point is, after all that storytelling,
what if I could put 10,000 songs in your pocket?
Let me give it to storytelling. Yeah. Is that it is very real that I'm sure most people in 2008 still didn't have a smartphone. So it's cool to watch a movie where my point is this.
This is the worst point.
Can you imagine a movie in 2019 where people get lost driving from Alabama to Texas? And the story that they'd have to come up with why neither of them have their smartphones. It's just
That's true. That's true.
You got it. Yeah.
You're right. It's different now than it was then.
It's different now.
That was a long fucking walk for a shitty fucking reward.
But I think people think of the aughts.
This is like you're in the back of the room, like, I got something for you, Josh. And I'm like, where are you? I'm like, find your way through the room. And then I like keep amble through a room.
Shins.
I keep falling over. My shins are black and blue. I'm bleeding out of my nose. And I find you and you're just in the corner shitting, like squatting on the fucking floor and shitting.
I got something for you.
That's what that story was. You're laughing.
No, but I feel like this. Like we lose track of history. And we think of the aughts as like, oh yeah, everyone had fucking cell phones in 2008. Wrong!
Look at the fucking recording and you tell me, how do you think you did with that?
Pretty good.
How do you think you did with that? You think that's pretty good? Okay. Just want to check to see how
You're
you
the
felt
professional.
about that.
I'm just a fucking
idiot. You just screamed. Yeah, no shit. I know that. Our listeners know that. Your wonderful girlfriend Amy knows that. My beautiful girlfriend Allison knows that.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
I
want to cue a clip here.
All right.
Allison Lerman-Gluck is my wonderful girlfriend. Her beauty is transcended only by her brilliance, and her brilliance only by her compassion, and her compassion only by her love of cheese and baths. And she had the good graces of joining us for this cinematic odyssey into the quirky world of Harold and Kumar.
Yeah, she watched the first one from across the room.
On a bed, which was very funny to have someone like ghost laughing from the other side of the credenza. Is that a credenza?
No, but that's all right.
I wanted to say credenza.
That's a nice word.
That's a good word. But this time she actually sat on the couch for the whole duration of Harold and Kumar Go to Guantanamo Bay. And she's holding out her debut on the podcast for a later episode. But I wanted to give her a little debrief interview before this episode starts in earnest. Now that we've heard Charles's fascinating fucking odyssey through his cell phone history.
Hey, man. There's going to be a Wikipedia.
If you haven't self-immolated at this point, you'll love this. But
people love that. People love the phones.
People love the phones.
People love the phones.
Honestly, these millennials love the devices.
They love the phones.
They really do. They love the phones. And I wonder if,
look, fuck you. If I went and did like a TED Talk or a Moth and I just
that would never happen.
Told my story about phones, people would eat that shit up like it was cum.
People would eat that shit up like it was cum.
Sorry, it were cum.
I guess in the sense you are right, because like you have to like really like the cum to do that, to be that enthusiastic about the cum. So yes, the few people I think who would have a tolerance for that would enjoy it, but I hardly think that would constitute the entire audience of a Moth radio hour. Okay.
I can't cum on every single person at a Moth radio hour.
I thought you were just going to cum and then they're going to eat the cum. You didn't say you're going to cum on everybody.
No, I mean,
you're moving the goalposts. Okay.
Hey, man, I got to strive.
Just like the Democrats and this impeachment hearing. Don't get me started.
It's going to be the date of the podcast.
Sorry.
I'm sure he's already not impeached because the Senate's never going to vote to impeach him.
No, democracy strong and great. The rock, flag, and eagle, red, white, and blue.
Well,
those colors don't run.
Anyway, what were you saying about your...
I talked to my fantastic girlfriend, Allison. Her compassion transcended only by her brilliance. Her brilliance transcended only... Sure. And I asked her for a little debrief on the movie. So we're going to now... we'll go ahead and whoever is our... I'm the engineer and the EP.
Co-EP.
Is L before H?
A, B, C, D,
F, G, H. Fuck. Well,
Wait, what about C and J?
Age Before Beauty.
What about C and
Fuck,
J?
that's also you. Shit.
What about C and J?
C and J.
Yeah, I mean you're
Charles and Josh.
Yeah.
I am number 2. Yeah.
A,
Fine.
B, C. No.
Okay, fine. I'm engineer and co-executive producer. But you're the guy who puts it all together.
Sure.
You sit down in your slap happy little fuck world and make this magic come out of it. I don't even know how it happens.
How'd you know that? That I have a little
Slap happy little fuck world?
I got a sign above my desk that says "Slap Happy Little Fuck World."
I've been to your house many times.
That's gonna be a good sign. We'll make a sticker.
Yeah. Honestly, no. I think we should get one of those like a wood
embroidered.
carve, like
Yeah.
no, not embroidered, like a
Oh.
wood carving,
I was thinking one of those like sewing. What are those called?
like a sampler.
A sampler, like a chocolate.
No, never mind. The sampler's when you practice sewing. It's not when you finish sewing.
Yeah,
An
yeah,
embroidery. I don't know. A pillow. You done a pillow?
Yeah, I'm talking about pillow.
A
yeah.
pillow. Talk about pillow. Talk
Yeah.
about pillow. Talking about pillow with Josh and Charles. So pillow talk. 2K19 pillows. What's in right now?
Embroidery.
Embroidered pillows. I don't know. I don't like them. Well, one, you're talking about a slipcase, not a real. You're not
Obviously
talking
not
about the
the
pillow
pillow. No,
itself.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Let me ask you this. Through Allison, I've been using like the
You
mold.
threw Allison?
I hurled her across the fucking
my
room.
God.
She gave me those like they mold. They're like the good for your neck. They
Yeah,
dip in the middle.
Amy got one of those.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
They're good stuff.
What do you think?
I like them.
Do they make you sleep on your back? Is that the one that you're talking about?
No, you want to sleep on your side ideally.
You do.
I put a pillow between my knees and I
So
sleep on
does
my
Amy.
side. Yeah.
You guys have so much in common.
We should really talk more about our sleep style.
Yeah.
Yeah. We both put up with your fucking shit
Yeah, that was the biggest thing.
and we sleep similarly. Anyways.
I wonder
now-
if there's
yeah.
a correlation between that.
The Amy Josh correlation.
Like you both put up one of my shit, and you both have to sleep in very specific ways.
Yeah. Allison can't sleep on her back with her knees up, and it is a little weird sometimes. So I'll come in at night and I'm like, are you like thinking right now?
Wait, she can't sleep at night unless she has her knees up,
No, not can't, but sometimes she'll sleep on her back with her knees bent upwards.
and she's asleep.
And she's asleep.
Whoa.
It's really something to behold.
That's cool.
It's something.
Wow, that's
yeah.
like a powerful leg.
She's a powerful woman.
Yeah,
And I respect
I
that.
know.
Speaking of women, we're going to go ahead and cue this clip up. Allison wanted to sort of set the record straight on. I just want to say this before we play the clip. Whenever we fucking whenever we get together,
you get so
whenever we get
tense.
together.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm tense because you make me tense. Because you and Allison know exactly how to push my buttons, and you do it together, and you like cue up. You just like
Dude.
create an atmosphere where you're both like literally giggling about making me anxious, and then do it, and you both think it's so funny.
We're lightening the mood.
Lightening the mood.
Yeah,
This is the opposite.
No, we're like, oh, Josh, it doesn't matter, man. We were just kidding.
Yeah, after we're both like, oh, he gets defensive.
Yeah.
When you do that, he gets defensive. Then I'm like, well, now I'm defensive because you're saying I'm getting defensive, and I'm not defensive. Then I get defensive because it's fucked up. So whatever. Allison,
What are you gonna say?
Allison's a fucking traitor. She sided with Charles.
Wow.
She look. You got it. Like what's the old song? Stand by your man.
Oh God! Wow. Yeah, I can see why she sided with me.
Yeah, I get it. Anyways, here's Allison Lerman-Gluck. I talked to her after we watched Harold Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay. All right, what did you think about Harold and Kumar 2?
Harold and Kumar 2 was a surprisingly good movie.
Do you have any criticism of it?
I do.
Do you want to expound on the criticism?
No. Just it's a movie that I think tackles racism in a post 9/11 USA in a very interesting way, but falls back on some, kind of boring tropes that are pretty sexist and homophobic. And I think that's just kind of like, it's a shame, I think, because I think it actually is a movie that has a lot going for it and is really, really interesting.
Did you have a favorite joke from it?
Yeah, I loved the older white woman on the plane freaking out and imagining Kumar as a terrorist. That was very, very funny.
Would you watch the third movie?
Yeah, I would. I would watch the third movie, yeah.
Do you want to say anything to our listening audience?
To our listening audience, I just want you to know that I have okayed Charles to stand up for women in this episode. So if you hear Charles standing up against sexism, just know a real life woman has given Charles permission to do so.
That's really beautiful. As someone who sees a lot of behind the scenes of the production of the podcast, is there anything you want to share with the listeners?
I want you to know that the arguments that happen on this podcast do trickle into their real life relationships, and they'll get through it. But it's touch and go sometimes, and it can get a little heated. But they love each other very much, and I love Josh, but I will always side with Charles.
Thank you. And we're back. So yes, you heard it here. Charles is the defender of women now.
I don't know why I was chosen. I mean, I guess between the two of us, I know why.
Oh yeah, why?
You go into it?
I mean, I'd feel like you're saying I can defend women too.
You can.
Thank you.
But
you were selected.
It just comes more naturally to me. Well, you have to do all this homework and studying and...
My research on women has yielded...
That was my best one yet.
Yeah, I'm happy we got it on tape.
Wow, that was really good.
I'm very proud of you.
I'm not even going to try it again.
Banish the thought, my friend.
I think we both... It's a joke. We're just joking around, man.
Yeah, everything's a fucking joke on old Josh, huh?
Yeah.
I'm an award-winning journalist, okay?
Hey,
you don't even register. When you die, they'll dump you in a a cardboard box, and they'll throw you into the bay.
Into the bay?
Boston Bay.
I don't think there is a Boston.
The Bay of Boston.
That's not a thing.
They'll find the nearest bay to Boston, and they'll throw you in that one.
All right. That sounds good to me.
They'll throw you in the Mystic River.
Feed the fishes.
Feed the fishes.
I live right across the street from the Mystic River.
When I tell you to dump the body in the bay, you dump the body in the bay.
Is that Jack Nicholson?
I'm adapting. It's not good. I didn't say it was good. No one said it was good.
That's all right. I got it.
Speaking of no one said it was good.
Mostly through context.
Well, context clues are...
Well, no,
I'm pretty good at them.
I think we didn't talk because I think that's what we do. We watch the movie and then we just sit in silence while we drive back here. We haven't talked. I know that I'm sure you agree with our critique of it. You just seem to have the last one you got a little bit like hung up on me critiquing the movie.
I didn't. You told me I was getting hung up before you started. You said I was hung up on it. It's not fair.
Oh, come on, fine, whatever. I'm just saying like this movie does. Let's get on the same page.
Okay, fine.
You know what? We're doing this together.
We sure are.
We watch the movies together.
This is the 2008 sequel to Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
Yeah, Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay. We know like what it does well, it does well. What it does poorly, it does very poorly. And I think what's interesting is that we were like sort of saying, well, maybe it's a product of the time, 2004. It's 2008, probably still a product of the time because as we just recounted, it was actually a long time ago where not everyone had a cell phone. Or a smartphone.
Oh, yeah, there's a thrilling fucking story that led us to that. Yeah. So thank you again for that.
This was a long time ago. This was fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but there's still things that they didn't do right. And I think Allison really just was saying, she was joking around, wants to make you feel a little bit.
I didn't make the movie. I don't care.
Yeah, I know you don't care. It's fine.
I don't care.
Don't worry about it.
Don't do that. Stop doing that.
It's all right.
Jesus Christ.
Everything's great.
This is fucked up. Yeah, you're smiling. Shit-eating grin, you motherfucker.
I'm going to shit on your floor.
Oh, it's fine, Josh. It's fine.
It's great.
Best part of this movie, anytime anyone got hit in the stomach, they farted. That's what makes this magical. That's
the scene where the second one happens was like so unnerving for me. I really didn't like most of the end of this movie. And that was a brief respite of joy where I was like, oh, good, this is happening now. Yeah, let's just like go in what we like, where it started. Okay. Because what I did think was interesting was like, it's 4 years later and IRL. Am I a Russian bot? I just said in IRL, which stands for in real life.
No one else cares.
In real life?
You're the only, it's fine. Just go with it.
Am I a Russian bot, Josh?
Honestly, you're a bot of some sort and you're malfunctioning. Yeah.
But anyway, it's 4 years later. They
W is still in office.
But the movie takes place perhaps minutes after the end of the first one.
That's true.
And that was fun.
I love that.
We watched this movie. We watched the first one. As we've said many times, we watched the first one. We watched the second one. What we don't always say is we watched them basically all at once. And it was really fun to be like, oh wait, this is 2008, but literally he's still got the cut on his head. Everything's the same.
I love that. I love that bit of, it's fun. A bit of a wink to the old audience. Okay, so I think we've alluded to this. This is a deeply uneven movie. And I'm not, I would say I liked this as much as the first one in the sense that when I laughed really hard.
Yeah.
And the stuff that hits really hard. And again, I think the fact that this movie engages so refreshingly with issues of race and like if cops and bros are the like agents of white racist imperial America in the first movie, this expands the lens to the wonderful Rob Corddry as the head of the Department of Homeland Security, who's the like nightmarish racist monster who like plays into every conceivable racial stereotype. And I think that was refreshing, where it's sort of like the like buffoonery of white racism again is like the main character in this as far as the like enemy. And again, I feel like it's rare in the like mainstream comedy paradigm where like it's that aggressive, where it's like this country's being run by huge pieces of shit who are massive racists, who are incompetent. And like it seems pat to look back on that era and see this movie as like it's like a fucking fart and weed movie. But like I like that it's punching up. I like that, you know, it finds a way to tell racist jokes in a way where the joke teller is the butt of the joke in a way that's, I like that. It's funny.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's, to use a parlance of our time, particularly woke in certain ways, and it carries over. I think so for me, I think this is a much funnier movie than the first one. I liked bits from the first one. I laughed at a couple of moments, but it wasn't I didn't really laugh that much. It wasn't something that really got me thinking it was very funny. This has a lot of times where I was like really, like, yeah, every 10 minutes
You're
I was
talking
laughing.
about lolling.
Sure. Oh, that another parlance of the time. Lolling.
Laughing out louding.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it really, like, it works on racial stereotypes, and it does things that I think still, like, wouldn't be done today. And I think it's okay. Like, this movie, in a lot of ways, was much more self-aware, and I think they gave it a little more freedom to do stuff like show KKK meetings and have two white guys talk to Americans and be like, they're talking some crazy language. And just
that was
like,
great.
that
scene is amazing.
And I think because that stuff was so much more focused, where we talked last week where like the first movie is a little more scattered, and like you definitely get that it's a movie about race, but they have so much like homophobia stuff and like sort of sexist stuff, and even the race stuff was like a little more scattered. This is so honed in, being like, hey guys, we want to make sure we're all on the same page here. We don't like racism. And it's like, here's stuff that's happening right now in this country. So it really could do a lot more and get away with it, and it really worked.
It's interesting you say that. Structurally, my big concern was that this is so much less directed. Like the plot itself, there's a few points where I was like, what the fuck, what happens now? And they sort of like put together as they go in a way where the singular mission of the first movie, I think, is a better organizer plot-wise. But I think you're right. I think the bits they do like hit really hard. Yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. I agree with you, my friend.
I wasn't talking plot. I agree. The plot of the first one is perfect.
Yeah.
Like I love that when a movie is like very simple. Like all they need to do is get to White Castle, and it takes an hour and a half to get there. And that's like, for me, a really fun movie. The plot was ridiculous, and I sort of liked it. But for me, like, my point was that one seemed a little more confused about what it was trying to say, even though I knew, like, the scene where they go to jail and they talk to Bebop about, you know, race problems. Like, that was a very specific scene that was like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, this is what this movie's trying to tell me. And then other times it was like, had a really inappropriate homophobic joke, and I was like, well, I don't know what the fuck is going on. So like this one was like, everything that was working was so like, it was a much more, it almost felt like what's the Wet Hot American Summer Guys sort of style of humor, where it's just like
Will Wayne and Showalter.
Yeah, just like punching you in the face with shit until it's like, yeah, we get it, and this is funny.
Yeah. It's you know, here's the thing. I'm going to get to this early. I am not saying when will it end. I genuinely like this as a vehicle of joke delivery.
Is it that time of the podcast?
No, I told you I'm jumping ahead.
I'm
not a fucking robot. I'm an American with freedom and choice.
Oh my God.
Choice is to do something. Oh no,
you always have to say it's that.
Oh, your pants so pee. So pee your little pants. So pee. Your little pants so pee.
Did you just get kicked in the balls?
Right in the old friggin' nuts.
That's funny. It only happened twice.
It only happened twice, but it was so good.
Really
I like
to this.
The look. This movie has a very faulty, weird ending that is the essence of convenience and just kind of runs out of steam, which is a bummer. But I think up until that point, I like the joke delivery system. I like the tone of most of the jokes. I like the targets that they tend to pick. Again, the retreaded homophobic stuff and the lazy depiction of women sucks, and there's no excusing any of that. But again, I guess in this realm of like mainstream comedy, there aren't a lot of movies like this series. So again, I guess it feels like low praise to put it like that. But like, I don't know. I guess like the fact that these were successful at all feels kind of special in a landscape that was so dire at that time. Certainly.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting if we'd done any sort of homework to see like what else was coming out that year. But I do. Yeah, would you want to use your device to see what else was happening in 2008? There he is.
Let me ask you this. While I look
it.
this up, it was a crazy year. When I tell you the movies, you're going to be like, oh, it was that year.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Neil Patrick Harris' return, I thought it was great.
Okay. Yeah, he was better.
It's fucking amazing.
He was even better this movie.
It was so good.
It was good. It's like, I think because
I hope she kept the baby. That's one of the funniest lines of the movie. That was so
great
fucking
line.
good.
I think for me, like, I'd really only known that these movies had Neil Patrick Harris as Neil Patrick Harris, and like the posters for it had the unicorn, and like especially seeing the first one where he's pretty bland.
He's great in the first one. You're a dingus.
I'm not a dingus.
You are
Fuck
my friend.
you, man.
A dingus.
Wow. You my friend a dingus?
You my friend, a dingus.
You, my friend, a dingus.
You my friend, semicolon, a dingus.
I'd
You,
use-
comma, my friend, a dingus.
I'd use a colon. Because the semicolon is really separating two independent
Okay,
clauses.
wait, okay. 2008. We got a little movie called The Dark Knight. Why
Yeah,
so
I was
serious?
say that. I was going to say that. I knew that was 2008.
Why so serious?
Let me see if I can guess any others.
There's one that, I mean, you absolutely must be able to guess. It's 2008. Think about 2008. Think about what happened last year. Just think about the last decade of film.
Oh, yeah, it was Iron Man.
Iron Man 2008, directed by the great
Dave? No, not Dave, but Favreau.
Johnny John Favreau.
Yeah.
Also this year, Pixar movie. Pixar movie in space.
Wall-E?
Wall-E,
Wall-E
2008.
came out?
Hell yeah. Cloverfield came out that year.
Oh, that is one of my favorite movies. I don't think I ever want to do the franchise for this podcast, but
We liked 14 Cloverfield Lane or whatever. That was good.
it was okay. I remember I was like, if
That was just so
we
stupid.
did it, but I was like,
You
man,
bitched about
if what's his
Goodman.
name wasn't in
Yeah.
it, this movie would have sucked. And you're like, that's what movies are. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, you're right.
I was
guess.
right. You can't imagine another movie. There's only the one movie.
I know, but
What is the point of the exercise of that?
That the movie sucked and it was only buoyed.
Okay, all
It
right,
was
fine.
buoyed.
Tropic Thunder, Slumdog Millionaire, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Wanted, the bullet bending movie
Oh,
that
fuck,
I
yeah.
only remember bullets bending, and
I love them.
Okay.
but because I also only remember bullets bending.
Revolutionary Road. I've never seen that one.
Yeah,
Sam Mendes,
not-
Step Brothers,
Interesting.
a movie beloved to many, I doubt by you.
Yep.
Gran Torino, a legitimately awful movie
Yep.
that is weirdly.
Right.
People seem to like that movie.
It's interesting because that's a movie about race that sucks.
It's appalling.
It's a disaster.
It's like it's this like proto MAGA shit where it's like it tells it like it is. I hate everybody, but I ain't mean. Or it's just fucked up. I hate it. It's so bad.
Sucks. That movie's so fucking.
He's so
bad.
terrible in
he
it, too.
sucks. Clint Eastwood should also be. He's on the fuck off list, and he should also be shot.
Yeah, sure. Though hey, Richard Jewell, I'm getting tickets to opening night
Why?
because it's a story about an American hero who was treated poorly by the media. Read
You.
Jews.
I meant you're just an award-winning
I'm a
journalist.
Jewish journalist. Okay, everyone will remember this. A little movie called The Spiderwick Chronicles. The whole nation got wick fever.
I sure did.
We all took a trip to Spider-Town.
Wow.
A little movie called Twilight came out in 2008. Ever heard of that? They're vampires, but they're hot. Yum.
Did PTA make anything in 2008?
Vicky Cristina Barcelona. Hancock. I say Hancock in theaters. Ooh,
You
Quantum
did?
of Solace. Yikes.
Ugh.
I'll burn after reading. I love that movie more and more as I get older.
It's really good. I watched it on a couch while I was sick, and it was
A memoir.
Great.
A memoir.
Really great.
The last scene is fucking perfect.
So, I mean, you're right. I think
That's actually another movie that's sort of a corollary to this film,
Yeah.
and it's like
We've got
scathing
this-
critique of like the complete ignorance of government and its inability to actually marshal information into meaning.
so. Yeah. So I think we are finding that comedies aren't like this. I think you're right that, and I mean, honestly though, I'm not an expert in this. I haven't seen any of these dumb comedies.
Yeah.
Like, so I have no idea. Maybe all dumb comedies are really at heart like, oh, men suck. Oh, rich people suck.
Okay,
oh.
but like you didn't smoke weed in high school.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of thing that like the excuse to smoke weed would be that, oh, I have a DVD of whatever, of this genre of
watch it.
film. Let's just throw it on. This is why Grandma's Boy, despite being legitimately, I think, a pretty bad movie.
Grandma's Boy?
You
What's
never
that?
heard, oh my God. This is why people despise you.
No one despises me.
Listeners, everyone nodding at home, I'm with you.
Wow.
I'm with
Allison,
you.
stop nodding.
Anyways, yeah, you missed this whole genre, really. Sorry, 2008 is kind of a crazy year. Can we
All
just
right,
go back
keep
to this?
going.
Okay.
Jesus.
This is nuts. Chronicles of Narnia.
Bad.
Let the Right One In.
Ugh.
Mamma Mia. The Happening.
Oh, shit.
Indiana Jones and the King of the Crystal Skull.
Oh,
Legit
shit.
one of the most, a movie we will certainly be covering.
You think so?
Yes, because here's my hot take. Indiana Jones 1, it's not very good.
I would say the only good one is 3.
3
And
is transcendent.
all the rest are equally bad, including the 4th one.
Well, the 4th one is particularly like
But
numbingly
I would
bad.
say it is as bad as number 1 and number 2.
I think 1 has enough. It's like Jaws to me, where it's like there's enough things going on in it that are iconic. Where I'm like, I understand this the contribution to the form. By the time you get to 4, you're like, this is absolute. Like nothing in this matters. Like none of this matters.
You know what? My dog takes a perfect shit every now and again. I do not do much other than marvel at the contribution to form.
Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. I have not seen this in a long time, but I have to tell you, since The Shape of Water, I am deeply concerned that every movie that fucking idiot has made is as trash as that.
It's weird that that movie is what he's never made a good movie. He's a trash master and he sucks.
What's the one?
He should also get
the
shot.
one everyone Pandora's Box.
sucks.
Pan's Labyrinth. I need to rewatch it.
sucks.
Obviously, it's
Dude,
beloved
like
to many.
Literally, so we can compare this to Jojo Rabbit. Let's compare
Okay.
this to Jojo
Great.
Rabbit, a movie about childhood.
Yeah.
What's the idiot's name?
Who's
The guy that made Shape of Water?
Guillermo del Toro.
Okay, Guillermo del Toro. What he does is like, I make a movie about a kid. What if I made it dumb as a kid? Where like bad guys are pure bad guys and, like we'll just make this Nazi creep, or I wasn't even about Nazis.
No, he's a fascist.
Yeah,
One of
he's just-
Franco's goons.
He's a fascist. And like, rather than make it be an interesting character, he just becomes fascist. It's a fairy tale for kids about
It's kind of
kids.
like how in Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, they befriend W.
We need to talk about this.
Okay, we'll put a
'Cause
pin
I
in
wanted
that.
to put a pin on that.
Sure.
But then you have Jojo Rabbit, which is also about being a kid and growing up. There's so many good coming of age stories.
During wartime, I think it's an important.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And rather than it's slightly satirical and ultimately it's really beautiful and it's a movie for adults about it's like a very adult movie about being a kid that adults can watch and be like, fuck, that's like.
And then you have Sam Rockwell's character, who isn't a good guy by any stretch of the imagination, but has like enough empathy to be a character that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a very complicated movie. It's perfect.
If your argument is that Guillermo del Toro is bad at making movies,
You'll take it.
I sign off on that. I think
All
The
right.
Shape of Water cannot. No amount of talking can underscore how terrible that movie is. Last thing I'm going to say, The Wrestler came out in 2008, and that is the only good movie Darren Aronofsky has ever made. So I haven't seen Noah, which some people
haven't
tell
either.
me
We have
is
to
a lot of
watch
fun.
Noah.
I would love to watch Noah.
I just totally disagree with you on that. I think The
Russell
Wrestler
Crowe
is-
as Noah sounds magical. What if I was large as Noah? A large man.
He loves being large.
A large man is Noah. Noah the large
I
man.
love that he is like most actors like Leo is like at a brief dad bod phase, but he just like never really talked. Like I feel like Russell Crowe just like embraces being large and just loves being large. It's so wonderful.
I think him and Christian Bale must get together to trade notes on this experience.
I think
I haven't
Wa-
even seen Dick, but I have low expectations for it. But I do love the idea of
I
just
think
big
Joaquin
ol'-
Phoenix would go in there.
Well, we talked about this, I think, but one of the rumors about Joker is that initially he wanted to
Yeah,
get really fat for it. And Philip was like, what if you were real thin again? And I'm like, no, fat Joker?
He's like, I've done thin. I want to be big.
Fat Joaquin sounds awesome.
I
We've
mean-
seen husky Joaquin, but I want
Yeah,
fat Joaquin.
No, husky. He's real husky
Yeah.
in You Were
Thou
Never
works
Right.
never truly here.
Yeah, and it's amazing. He's
Yeah.
got such a good body.
Well, what's your Aronofsky pick? What do you like by Darren?
I love all of his movies.
Oh, that's crazy.
Except for the Mother. Mother sucked. But like, I think Pie is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Requiem for a Dream. I like know that by heart.
I hate that movie.
I love it.
It's trash.
I think The Fountain is beautiful.
I want to revisit The Fountain.
It's so good. It's about like just death and being acceptance.
Well, for me, it's more like as a Jack maniac, as a Jackhead.
yeah.
I'm a huge Jack man.
You're a huge.
I'm a huge Jack man.
Who you jack off a lot?
No, well,
Yeah,
it's not a small amount, but I'm a huge Jack man.
yeah. Could you cover the entirety of a Moth recording?
No, again, this goes back to my one criticism of The Lighthouse.
Yeah, too much.
The robustness of Defoe's load is staggering.
How many days do you think it would take to cover the entire audience of a moth? Probably like a month.
If I laid off my hog for a little bit?
No, I'm just saying, like, you have to replenish. You could do one at a time.
You're describing a situation I never wanted to pursue.
Sorry, this is me. Probably a month.
Okay, great. Well, we covered that ground.
Cool.
Okay, let's go back to the movie at hand.
All right, let's talk about George W. Bush.
Let me ask you this.
I got
I'm
some
sorry.
problems with this movie. This is one of them.
Have you
actually?
Did you see W, the Oliver Stone movie W?
No.
I saw that in theaters. I have not seen it since. It's a question mark in my mind that it's been there for a very long time. Because as I recall from like a really vitriolic dude, I don't remember it being that condemning. At the end of the day, I remember it being I just like as a young person, I was like, oh boy.
Who played W?
Josh Brolin.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's Josh Brolin.
Is that in black and white?
It's not in black and white.
Okay.
But it's like it's a movie where as a young person who grew up obviously in the shadow of the Bush years, 9/11 and the wars, I was like kind of excited for this like really excoriating a take on the president, and it wasn't. And I haven't seen it since. But like we're watching a movie that of course features another breathtaking representation of W as a stunted man-child.
So here's the thing. I both loved and hated this whole sequence. I loved it because it's hilarious.
So to make a very long story short, in their long journey to escape the misfortune that placed them in Guantanamo Bay, they end up paradropping into the home of George W. Bush, who is a prolific marijuana smoker, we learn, and doesn't like Dick Cheney. He mean.
Yeah.
Off camera. We don't.
I like
it's not.
that.
I wish it was Christian Bale.
That was hilarious that he ran away because he's scared of Dick Cheney.
That's funny.
It's a funny joke. A lot of funny jokes during that scene. It's funny just to see someone that's like doesn't really look like W, doesn't really sound like W, but like does an okay job that you're like, oh, this is not W, but...
Well, okay, we were talking about how Will Ferrell wasn't in the first movie,
Yeah.
and they could have like put in a Ferrell-esque like cameo as W.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, this was the bread and butter of Will Ferrell circa 2008, no
Sure.
question. So I thought it was interesting they went with like basically a pretty bad...
Yeah, you could like see the makeup on
It's
his
pretty
face.
funny.
But I think it was on
liked
purpose.
that. Yeah.
It was really fun.
It was shitty. Like the good things are.
I think my problem with this movie is this is like where the movie starts to try to wrap everything up. And to me, it's very conflicting where on the one hand, it's like a movie about intolerance in this country and the way power works. And then basically we have these two main characters who just profit off of working with this person rather than confronting this person.
Right. Rather than upending the system, they end up benefiting from the same kind of nepotism or relationships.
Right. So I sort of liked in like I was like, oh, if Tarantino made this, they would have just fucking like killed W in his home. Like that would have been fun.
If you say this shit out loud, it will work its way through the ether to fucking Tarantino, who will do that.
Yeah.
Don't. No.
But it's like, I don't think, I mean, you say this all the time. I don't think you can have your cake and eat it too, or you can like have a movie that is constantly like, racism is bad, and then have like, this is like the fucking, Alan loves this movie probably. It's like, oh, there's my friend W. He's just a weed smoking good Texan boy.
Yeah.
So we walk away from this like he get paroled by the president. They don't tell him to change. He calls his dad and like makes him legalize weed, but like the whole conversation before that was like,
that's not what happens. I don't think you understood what happened.
You don't like getting hand jobs. You don't like giving hand jobs. Another homophobic joke, but it's like, so you're a hypocrite. It's like this dumb bullshit where it just like lets W have control, and then no one ever tells him that he's an asshole.
Yeah, it was a weirdly toothless moment because a moment earlier in the film struck me as very interesting, where there's the terrorists in Guantanamo, the real terrorists, quote unquote. Though of course, as we now know from history, Guantanamo is a horrifying human rights abuse where almost none of those people have done anything other than be Muslim or Arab. It's a fucked up thing. But anyways. I mean, they're sort of like, I was like, the tone got weird for a minute where they're like, terrorists are the real cowards. Like, you think killing innocent people is cool? Fuck you. And at first I was like, oh, if they leave on that note, I'll be like, what the fuck is this? Like this whole like, but of course, Cal Penn ended up working for Obama, which is like such a, this, whatever. It's all their conversation. But then the terrorists say back, if it wasn't for your fucking country, there wouldn't be people like us. And that's that conversation stops.
Yeah, well, it doesn't. They then have to suck another man's
No, then there's a prison rape joke, which is, not great. But what I'm saying is that like they let that hang in the air, which I thought was an oddly bold move for the movie, where like they don't end that conversation and like terrorists bad. They actually leave it with this like interesting, like again for 2008, certainly. I think that in a mainstream comedy, that was like a surprisingly thorny idea to toy with.
Yeah,
albeit
absolutely.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really good way to end that. Was
right.
Like your country sucks.
It's like the whole thing with Bill Maher. Like the single smart thing Bill Maher ever said about anything was about like how it's braver to commit a brazen act of terrorism than it is to just like bomb places from thousands of miles away. And like that's what got him in trouble. And like he's the most like fucking transphobic,
he's in
racist,
trouble all the
sexist.
time.
No, but like not real trouble. He had like I think that show.
Oh, really?
He got like because it was right after 9/11. It was like a big deal. And Bill Maher is like a trash idiot.
Yeah.
And like that was the like a vaguely accurate thing he said about American foreign policy got him in the most trouble.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess like to see this movie like deal with a complicated idea with that somewhat, straightforwardly I was impressed by.
Yeah. No, me too. I was like, ooh, I was also worried. It's like, oh, this is gonna be bad. And then, it definitely was thoughtful.
Right.
And then they
Are forced to suck a man's penis.
suck a man's penis, and then they like make a like
Cock meat sandwich.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they sort of get away with it by being like, I mean, they use the F word, and they're like, you guys are you're gay.
No, hold on. That was I thought that was
Right, I know. So it's like
Okay, you're doing a terrible job saying the fucking scene. This is who says that? Who says that in what circumstance?
Big Bob.
Okay, thank you. Do your fucking job. Is this the first episode we've ever done?
Yes.
Who says that? No, our listeners don't know. They haven't seen this movie.
They have.
There's no universe. If you saw the movie, raise your hand. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so
you're right.
the two self-identified terrorists are forced to suck one prison guard's penis, which they call a cock meat sandwich. Pretty funny stuff. And then they're like, "You get Big Bob," and they're like, "Oh no, Big Bob!" And Big Bob comes in. He's a big old beard, big old belly, got a big old penis too. And they're like, "We didn't know all the guards here were gay." He's like, "I'm not gay. In fact, it disgusts me that people like you want to suck my dick.
Right.
So suck my dick now." I thought that was like,
I know, that's what I mean. It's like
liked
a
that
cake
moment.
and eat it too moment where they like can
Make a homophobic joke and
make
then
a homophobic joke, be like,
Yeah.
oh, but really we're just like, I know, and it's like, it's hard to say. Like, does it work? Does it not work? Am I just being like, we got to make sure we're not offending people, or is it actually punching up at like people that are actually bad and abusive?
Okay, I think let's parse this out. Prison rape jokes, bad.
Yeah, I mean,
There's only maybe one good prison rape joke ever, and it's Norm Macdonald in Dirty Work. And I think that's legitimately just a funny
I don't
scene.
know it, but yeah, I'll believe you.
I'm not dying on this hill.
Yeah,
But 99% of the time, it's bad, no good, not fun. And this does, yeah, like you said. And so then that's not a great start. And then they like, you're all gay. So that's the only reason that you would force someone to have sex with you, which is not a good joke.
Yeah.
And then he does the whole like self-reflexive homophobes are hypocrite. Like, yeah, it's a lot of work for a weird payoff. So I don't know. It's a complicated example of how this movie has one foot in either camp.
yeah, and they do it a lot. Like, there's this scene where they like, he's just like, I love you, and like the FBI guy like calls him a bad word, and then yeah, it's just like it. That's like the big. There's two big problems with this movie.
You really brought that scene to life just now.
Okay.
When he looked off
Here's
into the
what
distance.
happened. Here's what happens. Okay. Well, I just don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it without.
Say a slur or an
Okay,
expletive
great.
or the F word. I don't know. There's a million
Okay,
ways
anyway,
to
so he-
allude. Yeah.
Kumar is like, they're having a nice talk about like, fuck, I fucked up our friendship, but I'm here for you. I love you. And then the guy goes like, and then calls him a bad homophobic
Who's
slur.
the guy?
Oh, sorry, the FBI guy. Yeah, the FBI guy.
FBI guy.
Not good
Jesus
at this,
God.
man. Not good
No,
at
it's
this.
true.
Gotta-
The life has left your eyes. It's interesting.
Because you're making me do something I don't want to do.
Talk about a movie?
Yeah, I just want to talk about the big ideas.
Oh, sorry, you're a big picture guy. All right.
I'll tell you a fine fucking story about me owning cell phones.
Honestly, I would love to hear another story about cell phone ownership. Hey, I'll tell you a cell phone story.
Well,
When
really?
I got one for you. When I went to Israel as part of an exchange program
What
in
year?
high school,
Give me the year.
The year was 20007.
Okay,
So
right around the time
hold
that I
on.
got.
No, that did that wrong. 20007 is the year 2007. This is 2007, a year you may recall, a year before the release of Harold Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay.
I'm right in the picture.
And we, everyone in Israel already was using Nokias, like bricks. Everyone had like a brick, a Nokia brick.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, you should really rent a cell phone while you're here. And I was like, this is the most exotic thing. I've gone to the Holy Land and I'm renting a cell phone. And you could play Snake and Blockman and all
Sure.
these games, like TI-84 games, you know.
Yeah.
Again, younger kids, they're all on their dang devices. They don't use TI. Is Texas Instruments okay?
No, I think they're doing fine because I'm pretty sure all algebra classes still make people get 83s.
How did they hook up that? How is that possible?
Don't know.
Like literally anyone with a phone can do all of that.
Yes,
And yet.
I do not know because
What an amazing scam.
I'll ask my mom,
Okay.
and next week I'll let you know.
Thank you. Well, stay tuned, listeners. Charles is going to ask his mom, and maybe in the new year we'll find out the answer to this pressing question. But yeah, so on the Nokia brick, you could do all these games, like a racing game. And I remember being like, I can send SMSs to people and play a racing game.
Not at the same time.
Well,
but
no, of course not.
On the
That
same
would be
device.
absurd. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I miss the Nokia brick. It is legitimately that was a magical piece of technology, and my children will never know the thrill of. Here's the thing: I hated T9. I despised T9. I resisted it for so long. I couldn't
love
figure it out.
T9.
It was the earliest for our younger listeners, you Zoomers out there. Okay, Zoomer. It's like a boomer, but for Zoomer.
What was a Zoomer?
I think people younger than us. I don't know. There's new rules now.
Zoomers?
I don't know. Please stop.
awful.
Please leave me alone.
Okay. Yeah.
They don't know what early predictive text was T9, where you would start typing.
It wasn't
a word.
Yeah.
You would start typing a word and it would finish the word for you.
No, you just had to hit the number. You had to hit 7 3 times to get the letter you wanted, and then hit the next button. It wasn't predictive at all. Maybe that's why you're bad at it.
I think I never understood it.
Yeah. So
Now that I'm hearing it in the cold light of day,
so when you have a phone, it has A, B, C, D,
E, F, G, H, J, K,
So
L, M,
if
P,
you wanted-
Q, R, X, to do P, for
If you wanted B, you'd hit 2.
B, oh yeah,
Twice.
yeah.
And then if you wanted to say something, you just have to know how many times to hit it. I got so good at it that I could text and drive. That was one of the things where I didn't like smartphones because I couldn't text and drive anymore.
I do miss the keypad in
Because I
general.
could hold the wheel with one hand and text without looking at the screen with the other.
It's a shame you can't still do that.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't let anyone know where I am. But at least now I know where I am. Before I couldn't tell myself where I was. But
Aren't we
now-
all lost in a way? You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Much like Harold and Kumar in Escape from Guantanamo Bay, aren't we all
Yeah.
lost?
I did like that the movie's called Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, and they literally spend one scene in Guantanamo Bay and immediately escape.
They spend 5 minutes and 33 seconds of screen time at Guantanamo Bay.
It's great. And
It's
most
great.
of it is a very strange scene that was interesting.
Mixed feelings there. Hey, let me ask you about this.
Yeah.
This movie sees not just the return of Neil Patrick Harris, but the wonderful return of the great Chris Maloney. In the first film, he played Freak Show.
Yep.
Chris Maloney, the darling from SVU, and of course, Gene from Out American Summer. He returns in this as a cross-eyed Klan member. I found him to be delightful.
Even better than the first one.
I will
or just as
say
good. Delightful.
he uses the hard R in the first sentence of his appearance in the film,
Yeah.
which is not my place to say whether or not that is a good thing. It's probably a bad thing. Even in comedy, it's a slap across the face.
Right,
And much
that's-
more so to, obviously.
I think that's sort of where we're getting at is they still have leeway of 2008 to
Yeah,
we're making fun of these KKK guys. Let's make them say terrible shit.
right.
It's is that okay? I don't know. It's I don't know. I really can't say. It makes you feel uncomfortable in 2019 to hear people say those words.
Right. And even if the joke is at those people, one wonders. And you were talking about how in a similar contemporary film that you did not enjoy that I have not seen, that depiction of Klan members
Oh yeah,
is somewhat lazy.
yeah. Black Klansman.
Right. The idea of the toothless hick as it's no, people, incredibly powerful people from district
Yeah.
attorneys to governors, really, this was not some bumpkin activity. This was a massive white supremacist
Yeah.
organization that had its tendrils in every aspect of American life for a very long time.
Yeah.
So a production assistant died while making this movie,
How?
hit by a car.
Wow.
Or in an auto accident, doesn't say how.
That
Carol
sucks.
Trevino. Yikes.
I think it's time
Uh-huh.
to talk again that the one thing this movie did not fix and doubled down on, in my opinion, is
Are
being,
you defending women now?
yes.
Okay,
That
okay.
time.
Everyone get ready.
You can do
Allison
it.
approved.
Stamp of
Charles is now
approval.
going to defend women. Allison, Charles, please.
No, just me.
Oh, sorry. Charles, please.
I mean, you're probably going to agree with this.
Charles,
Come on board, man.
please.
This is a dude movie. This is a movie written by two men, about two men, where the main women characters, one of them, he doesn't even ask what she wants, and he interrupts her wedding and tells her that she needs to change her life. And the other one is literally a person he's never talked to, and he crosses the globe, and the first scene of them together is him getting angry that she's talking to another man.
Yeah, not great.
Not good.
Not good.
Very bad.
It's weird to me that they go so far out of their way to underscore the day-to-day ingrained prejudices in our society, and yet women remain, even 11 years ago, this blind spot so overwhelming
Yeah.
that it can't dig its way out of the basic misogyny that you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's pretty appalling.
And it sucks that that's how this movie ends. And so to go from the W scene, which I find to be lame and counterproductive, to then move into a wedding sequence, which is not
The women's
does-
feelings are an afterthought to the entire situation.
yeah. And like we know because the boys who wrote this movie made sure that the audience knew that she was unhappy because she can't smoke J's anymore. But Kumar doesn't know that. He sees her happy at the airport. He doesn't look back to see her looking back and be like, oh man, I missed that. What did he, Thundercock?
Thundercock. He calls his dick Thundercock. That's in a dream, though, to be fair.
Right, no, but I'm saying like in the airport, she does look back and be like, man, I missed that Thundercock.
Yeah.
And he doesn't see that. He
Right.
doesn't know. And he just like assumes that
The
she'll want him
screenwriters let
back.
him off the hook, and yet his behavior does not let himself off the hook.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So, and just like, I do want another, I'm not saying when will it end. I'm just hoping that.
When will the misogyny end?
Thank you.
When will the sexism end?
Yes. That.
Yeah, it's true. It's weird because it seems like it's so easy to stop doing that.
Yeah, and it's interesting.
Like you could spend 5 more minutes working on those things and just not have them be the most not have the female parts of the film be the most convenient possible punchlines.
Yeah, and I think it's important for men to watch these movies and actually like, if you're a man and you're listening to this podcast,
Hey, even you.
especially you fucker, go watch this movie and like actually think about the way women characters are portrayed in this movie. Because if you just watch this movie like, oh, it's a fun movie about race, it really does great work, like talking about race problems in this country, it sucks. This movie's honestly, it's like really depressing how women are just like, this isn't just like a small problem. This is why like I used to not think this way. I really didn't. And it really took a lot of like people telling me things and me going to Hampshire and meeting other people and doing all this stuff to be like, other people's voices are very important, not just because it's like nice to hear other people's stories, but that's how culture is created. And like to think of other people having to like hear only one story, even though there's thousands of versions of a man's story, it's still all told by a man's perspective. And this movie is just like, it's irritating to have to like still have that problem in 2008.
Yes, and I will say this. It pains me to say it, but even in the scene in the movie where they go to a bottomless party where the camera just pans to shots
Yeah,
of vaginas
Jesus
for like
Christ.
4 straight minutes while people talk over those shots, even that is not. I gotta be honest with you. I think it's a little demeaning.
You think so?
I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers here. I know, this is an important film to you, but I did feel like the classic male gaze became the entire film just became that for a minute.
I think that was an uncut.
Wasn't
that was
great.
like that was probably an unrated, like thrown back in scene.
They got so much B-roll of bottomless women and their vaginas. It was kind of impressive where it's like,
Well, I'm sure that's what they did. They're like, oh, maybe we'll throw in like one shot of a butt. So why don't you just get like, why don't you roam the room,
yeah.
go capture 8 minutes of butt and vagina footage, and we'll just choose like a second to
And
put
like,
in the
how
movie.
long should we use in the unrated? They're like, all of
All
it.
of it.
Dump it. Don't even edit it. There's just production assistants walking around in the background. You can see catering.
Yeah, it's and then like we're like, are we really not going to get any fucking male nudity?
And then we get some male nudity with a big male bush
But
chub.
it's a fake. Exactly, it's fake.
Yeah, it's cowardly.
It's-
You got to show dick.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: if you're gonna if you're gonna play the nudity game in 2019, you must. Ewan McGregor is not my favorite actor, but for decades he's been leading the fight for famous men to just own up to showing their penises in
What are,
film.
what are you talking about?
Ewan McGregor?
Yeah, what are you talking
He's
about?
been showing dick so consistently for decades.
Really?
Oh my god.
What movies?
I mean, Trainspotting is I think as early as Trainspotting.
I don't remember his dick in Trainspotting.
I remember his dick in Trainspotting. After he fucks the high schooler, he wakes up
Yeah.
in her house,
Yeah, it's brief.
but you see dick. That was like the late 80s.
What about Cillian Murphy? It wasn't the late 80s. Fucking
Trainspotting?
was
Yeah.
98, you doofus.
It was 98.
It was
You're wrong.
fucking 98. Everything came out in 98. Everything in my life that I love.
I wrote Trainspotto. 1996.
6.
You went over. I was under. Price is Right rules. You fucking suck.
God
Fuck
damn it.
you.
It's 96.
Dipshit.
Well, yeah.
Same year's Space Jam, where Michael Jordan famously hangs dick.
Hangs dong.
Yeah.
The whole court.
Right. You just, right.
For me, it's Cillian Murphy, and 28 Days Later will always be the first time I ever saw dick on screen, and it's just like a long overhead shot of him completely naked, which was what, 2002, 2001.
Sounds right. He's in so many. There's a lot of websites. I searched Ewan McGregor penis movies.
Yeah.
A lot of results.
Oh, good. How many?
I'm
Tell me.
pulling them up.
No, it always tells you. Google tells you how many results you get.
No, not all of them.
Fuck. Used to.
Galore Mag says his dick is huge.
No, I don't care.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, me neither.
Huh. Well, it's loading right now. It's loading. It's
It's that big?
The way, yeah. It's just one photo. It's a website, McGregorsdick.org.
It hasn't even finished.
It's got a .org. It's like tax-free. It's tax. Here we go. This is why Ewan McGregor's dick is so famous. Okay. Train Spotting, The Pillow Book, Velvet Goldmine, and Young Adam. He's shown dick in all those movies. For a famous male actor, 4 movies with dick, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
Now, remember Troy with Brad Pitt.
Uh-huh.
Everyone said you see Pitt's dick in Troy.
You do?
You don't.
Huh.
You don't. You see like a silhouette. I remember my bit at the time was that I felt cheated. I was like, "This you can't market a movie around Brad Pitt's dick. Who wouldn't want to see that? This transcends sexuality. Everyone wants to see Brad Dick's Pitt.
You even call him Brad Dick now.
Brad Dick's Pitt. Anyways, here's what I'm trying to say. Don't be a coward.
Yeah.
Show your penis in movies.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's his name? Who's the tall guy from Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Oh, Jason Segel. I mean,
Yeah.
in many ways, I think he's his generation's Ewan McGregor.
Say they're probably in a similar generation.
Yeah, well, I think Ewan's a little older.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was rocking out with the cock out in the fucking 90s.
That's true. And what's his name was in Freaks and Geeks and probably only in his early 20s.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall is maybe the last great romantic comedy. I think that movie's
That's
fucking
not
great.
true.
What's better after that?
They came out after that.
That's calling that a romantic comedy is a little. That's one of my favorite comedies, but it's also like you're doing an eyebrow thing. That's that whole movie, eyebrow thing.
Yeah.
So just like the end of Harold Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, we don't have a satisfying ending to this one.
Yeah. That's all right.
I liked it. I laughed really hard. The good parts were great. I loved the Klan scenes. I loved Neil Patrick Harris.
I hope no one just takes that out of context and just has someone, Josh, be like, I love the Klan scenes.
That's kind of vague.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
love the Ku Klux Klan. I think they're very bad people.
All right. Just hope no one edits that one so it just gets rid of don't.
I love the... Yikes. Okay. That being said, so you alluded to this. You're not saying when it will end. You're going to join me in this adventure.
I love it. It's liberating to be in something that it doesn't matter. It's short. Like I would, though, even not knowing that there's, like if I was like, there's 6 of these, if I knew up front there were 6 of these, I'd still be asking, not asking when will it end.
Right.
I'd still be like, all right, I could see how this could be fun for 4 more movies.
Okay, more importantly, from the structure of these franchises that we watched, A Dip in 2, we've discussed this at great length in the podcast, A Dip in 2 is like proven to be a real thing where you get too comfortable and you make a retread that's more about spiking the football. This is not that.
No.
It's much funnier. It is prone to the same horrible mistakes of the first film, but that being said, it's not a dip. If anything, it has the same relentless misogyny and gay panic, but with bigger laughs.
I think that was on the poster.
Yeah.
That was the tagline.
Gay jokes, hating women, big laughs.
Bigger laughs.
And you know what? Sign me up, baby. No, so the next one's a Christmas one?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it. Fine. Sure. Whatever.
So this came out, this episode's should be the Monday after Christmas. So it's not quite timed out, but I sort of like that we're right in the right ballpark here for Christmas time.
Hey, a Merry Yuletide to you, my Goyish friend.
Thank you. Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you very much.
I know that doesn't mean as much to me, right?
To you? I don't know what it means to you.
No, I'm sorry. This is to
Hey,
that.
you should be fucking sorry.
Christmas is to Charles as Hanukkah is to Josh. I know that I've heard from other Jewish friends that Hanukkah isn't really that important. It's not the most important holiday for you.
Oh, Yom Kippur, man. That's a big one.
Yeah. But like,
Sorry, God. And all my friends and family.
Yeah, like for us, it's also not very important because no one actually cares about what it's like religiously for. But supposedly it's about the birth of a baby or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Let me just share one of the episode like this. I think this is the best joke in the movie. What's your name, Miss Tits Hemingway? Why do they call you that? Because I have huge tits. And my favorite book is A Movable Feast.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1,
That was
2,
pretty
3, 4,
good.
5. Do it again.
Peter Pettigrew. Peter Pettigrew. Peter Pettigrew.
Look, Peter Pettigrew. Look how I'm not doing it. Peter Pettigrew. Peter
Peter
Pettigrew.
Pettigrew. Peter Pettigrew. Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew. Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew. How do
See?
you do that?
You're going
Yeah. what do
Peter
you do?
Pettigrew. Peter Pettigrew.
How do you do it?
Listen. Okay.
It's about seeing.
Listen to this. No, listen to
I
this.
can understand. I see it on the thing.
Okay, just listen. So you do it yourself.
Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew.
How do you do it?
Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew.
You pull it back.
You're going
P.
Peter.
Yeah.
It's Peter.
Peter. Okay.
Okay. I got an idea.
Yeah. Peter. Here we go.
1, 2, 3. All right, I think this is good.
Peter Pettigrew.